you clicked on this video, then you must be very eager for an explanation of everything Nyan Cat related. In that case, I'll grant your wishes. Nyan Cat is based on an animated GIF made by the man Christopher Torres. It was originally known as the Pop-Tart Cat before being paired up with a remix of a Hatsune Miku song, then being uploaded to YouTube as Nyan Cat. Then, bam! History! It became internet famous and has been renowned for being one of the most well-known GIFs on the internet. It had become so iconic that Mr. Torres later turned it into an NFT! I don't exactly think that was the best thing to do, but I'm not really crypto bro, so I don't know. Well, aside from that, I wouldn't really say there's too much to explain about the main content itself aside from the history behind it since, well, it's just a cute few-second GIF with repetitive music. If you want a more deep dive into Nyan Cat's history and the actual mobile games, I highly recommend this video. Although, let me use this opportunity to greenlit an awesome Nyan Cat fan creator. Does any of you remember Mr. onewingedgamer 18? No? Well, if you don't remember the name, do you remember these animations? Now you have some memories flooding back. I watched these when I was very little, and oh boy, these animations really make me obsess over Nyan Cat. I'm going to link them in the description of the video so you can check them out, since that guy put a ton of effort into his awesome animations. I remember when I was little, I would almost cry to the Nyan Cat falls in love video. Anyway, I always tried to look for any entertainment that was Nyan Cat related, which correlates to the topic of today's video, Flash games! Again, that might just be a common trend now. Speaking of which, my next video subjects are going to be about the FNAF dating sims from the 2010s, but I was getting a bit overwhelmed and burnt out by FNAF, and when I was researching for Newgrounds games of last video, I found a bunch of Nyan Cat games from my childhood and decided to binge play them. So that's where today's subject comes from. I'm going to credit all of the creators of the games I play, and if I can't find the creator, I'll try my best to find a source of them. Anyways, let's get started, shall we? Starting off with the most iconic Nyan Cat game! Nyan Cat Lost in Space. And no, I'm not talking about the original mobile game. I'm talking about the Flash game remake that was presumably released a month later? Unfortunately, I couldn't really find much information on the release of the original mobile game. I only found the release of the Flash game. I only know it was supposedly released shortly after the virality of the Nyan Cat GIF and was endorsed by Torres and made official. But I can't find a reliable source where it said exactly when it released. They only have the year that it was posted. The earliest dating videos I've seen of it were dating back to May, but they were after the Flash game was released. So I'm a bit lost in looking for the date. Lost in space! Anyways, Nyan Cat Lost in Space, the Flash version, is an endless runner platformer that was developed by MyLostGames. They also posted a variety of other games, but obviously, their standouts are the Nyan Cat games, but they have been developing ever since 2009. We'll check out the other Nyan Cat games later, but let's take a look at the game for now. In the game, you play as Nyan Cat, obviously, running through endless platformers you can jump on, which little me thought were shaped like hot dogs for some reason. All the abilities and obstacles in the game are the same as in the mobile version, just with different sprite work. So that's kind of the gist of the game though. But I'll mention a couple of other facts. It seemed to have belonged on a website called MyLostGames.com, but the website seems to be defunct now, thanks to the death of Flash. So, the website I'm playing it on is Newgrounds. They posted all their other games here too, so we can play them here. Now, let's move on to the next one. And yes, they did make a game about Nyan. It seems like it was apparently on iPhone for some time, but during 2012 it was removed for an unknown reason. It's kind of similar in gameplay, except there aren't much obstacles in this one. You just shoot a bunch of food animals and jump over gaps. Just don't let them get away or you'll lose a life. The only other way to die is by falling down. Like I just did right there. Anyways, it's a little more bare bones than the previous game. The only power-ups you can get in the game are rockets, lasers, magnets, and bang, I guess. I'm not sure if the mobile version was more detailed like how Lost in Space was different, but they're made by different creators. While this one, it seems to be the same one since they directly advertised it on the Flash game, so I don't know. This game appears to have been made after the massive success of Nyan Cat Lost in Space, as well as a couple of other Nyan Cat games they made, and which we'll discuss next about... Sushi Fighter, which would be a separate entry if I didn't realize this is just a reskin of Demolitionist Nyan. Literally the exact same game, except with a vaguely Japanese reskin. But everything else is just the same. They didn't even change the background or the animals or nothing besides the music and the playable character. I wouldn't have mentioned this game otherwise if it was just made by a random user, but this was made by MyLostGames themselves. I don't know why they'd release the exact same game just with a lackluster reskin, but that's an official entry from MyLostGames, so throw it into the list. This is the latest entry in the series of the Nyan Cat Flash games made by MLG. It's the most visually unique of the series, being based on a Game Boy. That's actually a really awesome concept for an aesthetic. But I'll be honest, the game got really boring after a little while. It's basically just Lost in Space, but only the jumping and collecting a high score. No power-ups, no obstacles. And it doesn't have any music, which I guess is accurate for a Game Boy console, kind of. But it just made it more boring, so I don't really know what to think about it. But aesthetically, I think it's absolutely sick! I adore the Nyan Cat DS cover on the side, and I think the concept sounds awesome! But I guess I never really grew up with the Game Boy consoles to really find too much enjoyment in it, but it's a fun gimmick! Okay, so those are all the games for this part. If you want a part 2, let me know! I've always loved Nyan Cat, so this was a fun subject for me to tackle. So if you want more, just let me know. Bye!